I picked up my Steam Deck a few months back now, and the anticipation of getting it was one of the longest periods of waiting I'd ever done for a product, and on the day it finally came, it was a wonder from first sight. Up to getting my Steam Deck, which in itself was a tiring and frustrating experience, receiving it was like entering a new world of gaming. Sure, I've got my PS5 and Xbox Series X, but now with school tuning up as I'm in my last year of high school, it isn't as easy to just boot up a console or set up my computer in order to get maybe half an hour in. So the Steam Deck is an absolute godsend in that regard, as its accessibility, ease of use, and overall portability makes it an absolute dream in my current circumstances. Even when I've got a bunch of time, booting up the Steam Deck and playing through my giant backlog has been tons of fun, and I definitely think at the moment the Steam Deck takes the legendary spot as my favorite gaming console due to factors I'll be going throughout this video. Let's start off with one of the best aspects of the Steam Deck overall, and that's got to be how comfortable this console is to just hold. The Steam Deck is nicely designed with some great, albeit different button layouts to what you're used to, with some back buttons that you can configure in order to make your shortcuts in gaming that much more accessible. The deck also has some really nice grips which contrast the console quite heavily to devices like the Nintendo Switch, which definitely doesn't have a nice grip for the players to hold on to, and me and many others have resorted to buying a dedicated grip for the Nintendo Switch in order to actually make it comfortable to hold and play in a portable manner. In the department of comfort, the deck definitely outclasses the Switch in almost every aspect, and holding the console wherever and whenever has always felt comfortable. And even though I don't usually game in long sessions of more than 45 minutes, my hands don't ever give out in that time neither, and the Steam Deck truly is a console you could hold for hours without any discomfort while doing so. It's a super comfy console, and it makes it that much better to just sit in bed before snoozing off and getting half an hour in gaming while you're absolutely comfortable while doing so. Another great facet that adds to why the Steam Deck is my favorite gaming console is the gigantic and diverse game library here. The Steam Deck utilizes this Steam store automatically, and the store in and of itself wields so many damn games that you don't even need to really venture onto other platforms. From PC exclusives themselves to even PS and Xbox exclusives, every game you can think of is right here on the Steam store. In addition to that, there is many tutorials and ways that you can get other third-party launchers such as the Epic Games launcher running smoothly on the Steam Deck. So if you've already got a bunch of games loaded up on another platform, it's quite painless to find a way to add that to the deck as well. There's just so much variety you have access to while playing on the Steam Deck, from the great indie games out there to massive AAA games. Everything you'd ever want to play on this console is right here in one place. In addition to this, although not every game may not work on the Steam Deck yet, there is a way to check what games are verified or playable according to the Steam Deck store, and there's so many videos on how to tinker the games to their best on the deck everywhere online. This literally would not have even been a factor included in this video if it was made a few days ago, but since buying a super cheap dongle for the deck in order to easily connect it to my TV or monitor, I've opened up another form of play while still preserving that level of accessibility and ease that the Steam Deck boasts all around. Sure, some of you may say that I've already got way more powerful consoles, so what's the point of even having a way to connect the deck up to a TV or monitor when I could just download those games on my better consoles and then play them there with much smoother frame rates and performance? Well, the answer to that is also the answer to why the Switch was such a big hit. It's just the level of accessibility. The fact that I can sit around and play on the deck on the couch, and if I decide I'd like to move my session to something a little more grand in terms of going to the TV, I can plug it right in, and when I want to move back or even get off, I can just put the deck to sleep and be over with it. It's this fact that makes it so appealing to utilize the two-use factor that the Steam Deck has, and being able to use it exactly like how I use my Switch brings it up many levels and really makes it feel like a console in all regards, one that is super powerful and capable of running the best games out there while still being portable and accessible at the same time. Man oh man, I've got to say this may be the greatest aspect of the deck overall. The performance here is crazy. Sure, I've got a lot of indie games running throughout this video, and many of the games played here can be played on pretty much everything, but earlier the display of Red Dead Redemption 2 on both the deck itself and in docked mode really does display how damn powerful the deck truly is and how capable it is to run some really heavy games. Just to recount some of the heavier duty games I've played on here, I've played Gotham Knights, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Watch Dogs 2 and Evil West, with two of those games being games that just released a couple months ago, and so the fact that I can easily run these games with some tinkering is absolutely mind-blowing to me even now. Even though I've owned the console for more than a few months, the ability to run such heavy games on such a small device is something I'd never imagined, and I never thought I could literally do a playthrough of one of the most demanding games of the last generation in Red Dead Redemption 2 in beautiful settings and graphics while having such a smooth experience. The Steam Deck is such a capable machine, and although running some heavier games may wield lower battery life compared to playing some of the indies out there, for someone like me who only likes to play games in small increments nowadays, this really is not a bother for me, and it's still stunning to see that when I loaded up a new game from my library, the deck just amazes with how perfectly it's able to run such games. The deck is definitely suited with some powerful specs, which I won't go over because many other videos delve into that, but the utilization and optimization of that power is what makes the deck truly remarkable in how it performs in games compared to others within the market, as the sheer level of perfect optimization that each game has, especially if it's verified, means that the deck is going to be a wonderful way to experience those games again or even for the first time. Another thing that the deck has that truly enhances how each game performs is the performance overlay. The overlay allows players, even those that don't really know much about a bunch of PC jumper, to be able to configure the console's performance in order to make it more powerful in running certain games or lowering the power usage it needs to enhance the battery life. It's quite an extensive tool and quite easy to bring up, showing the player a bunch of different stats that they can analyze in order to see how much their performance in a particular game is going and easily configure how much power they'd like the deck to use in order to run certain games out there. For example, for Red Dead Redemption 2, I use the highest TDP option in order to make sure I have the smoothest experience, while this differs to indie games that run so smoothly with barely any power. Lastly, let's cover another huge factor for the Steam Deck, and for me and many others, this is probably the biggest factor as to what makes it so appealing to purchase in the first place: the convenience and portability that the console offers that you can't really get anywhere else, especially not at that same point of value. The deck comes with a really nice and sturdy case, which if you're traveling around and want to bring it with you, the case that Valve gives the deck in is so wonderful to use, and it's really well made and sturdy enough for you to feel comfortable in being able to transport the deck around places. Anyway, I want to talk about the portability of the console, which also then leads on to the level of convenience it offers to us as well. The deck is of course a handheld, and being able to wield a handheld that has access to such a large libraries of games from all different generations, while even having the ability to emulate large droves of games, truly does make it a crazy value gaming console. Everything and anything you'd want to play on a portable handheld is right here with the Steam Deck, and so far I haven't hit any walls in trying to play a game on the deck, and this just adds to how convenient it is. The Steam UI is so well designed that you can just utilize it like you would for a console, clicking and easily downloading games to the console, which you can easily boot up, and most of the times I've played games not even to really tinker with much and just get right into the game you want to play. It's such an accessible piece of hardware, making it that much more convenient for you to put the console to sleep and in the next day wake it up to play some more of whatever you're playing. And this level of portability and convenience in all facets truly does make the deck a great console, and is one of the many reasons as to why it is my favorite console at the moment. Well, to wrap up the video, if you're hesitant on buying the Steam Deck, I hope this video will clear some of the things off your head that you were wondering about. And if you've noticed that you've become a bit stagnant in playing games recently, I assure you that the deck will be able to reinvigorate the fun factor that you always used to have while playing games, just like it did for me. It's a damn great device, and although some may disagree with me calling it a console, it's not one in the traditional sense. It's such a unique hybrid that makes it one of the greatest pieces of gaming hardware out there at the moment, and one I cannot recommend enough. If it's your first time here, please consider subbing for more content like this. And anyway, that's all from me for today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.